Regina Sanchez here, your spiritual life and health coach. Welcome to my podcast, Giving You a Fresh Start. My heart is to help you revive the joy in your life, rejuvenate your God-given destiny, and restore your body to health. Grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or a glass of spring water with a splash of lemon and sit back. Take notes if you can, and enjoy the teaching I'm about to embark on. Let's get started, giving you a fresh start. Hi there, Regina Sanchez, your spiritual life and health coach, believing in you. Welcome to my podcast today. I hope that this day is baiting you well and that you are off to some exciting ventures. I am going to continue once again our discussion on anxiety, fears, and so forth. So before I get started, if you don't have your favorite beverage, please hit pause, go off and get it, and then come on back and we will get started on our next teaching. And also before I get started, actually, I just want to remind you of the special that I'm doing right now until February 28th, and that is doing free health history evaluations. So if you have some health issues in your life, or just life issues, and you would like to have an evaluation done, then take advantage of this opportunity. Just send me an email at info@reginasanchez.com. That's info, I-N-F-O, @reginasanchez.com. Put in the subject health history, and I'll be happy to send you one, and then we'll schedule a time to do that free consult. So let's dive in to this next topic. I just want to take a quick minute to talk about this. Actually, this is one of my favorite things, so maybe I can go off and make it a little more than quick. But anyway, today's topic is on writing your anxiety away. So a tool, and I feel like this is a valuable tool to help you if you have a life full of, depression or anxiety or fears, to literally write. I mean, this is something I have been journaling. I'm going to say since 1995, 1996. And I can't even tell you. I'm looking at the shelf in my office of all the journals. And what has actually been such a blessing for me is that I take those journals and I'll go through them, and I'm really finding so many valuable life lessons in there that I can teach on, or so many revelation, on issues that the Lord has given me that I can teach on. So I find for that purpose, for, my business, I find it valuable, but I also find journaling just a fabulous way of releasing in my body what's in there, right? When we're going through some tough times, if we can write it down, it kind of helps take the energy of the stress away. And we just put it on paper, and then we can sort of push the paper away for a while and be free of the impact that it's having, the stressful impact that it's having on our lives. But I spend time even going back over those journals. And sometimes I'm just delighted, to see the revelation the Lord gave me at that specific time with those specific issues. I also can see how much I've grown when I read through those, journals. But it helps me get the emotion out of my heart and my head and onto paper. And then see later on down the road how those issues were resolved. Sometimes we just can't fathom our situation being over because it just seems to be so impactful, so overwhelming, so all-encompassing of our life. But when it's over, it's like the analogy of sort of having a baby, I guess. You're going through the labor of the baby, of having the baby, and it is very difficult and it is very trying. And you could be swearing and yelling and crying or whatever. I mean, for me, it wasn't necessarily peaceful. Um, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't easy. But, once the baby comes, you kind of forget, right, the pain of that delivery and being in labor. It goes away because the joy of this precious child in your arms. Well, then we forget, I attribute that sort of the same to, having an issue in our life. And once that issue is over, whew, we're relieved and then we move on. But I find that if we journal about it, then when another issue, another life issue, pops its head in our life, we have resources to go back to and go, oh, wait a minute, God got me through that issue. He'll get me through this issue. So journaling can come in many different forms. It can be strictly, writing. You can purchase, pretty journals, this is exactly what I do. I go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Home Goods. I buy a small journal. Sometimes I buy the bigger, 8 by 10 or whatever, but they're usually the smaller size. I'm not sure, 5 by 9 or something. I don't know. And that's all I use to journal in. And I date it, the date that I'm writing. And that's my journaling mechanism. But another way you can journal is you can create a scrapbook, a small scrapbook. And I remember I did this back in 2003 when I was, beginning my very tumultuous and painful journey of divorce. And my heart was breaking for my 2 children. And it was a very frightening experience for me. And one of the things I did not want to happen to my children was for them to give up on the Lord. I wanted them to continue to believe that even though things were not easy and not looking good, and they were not looking good for a long time, but I wanted them to believe that He was there for us, that He would get us through it. So I began a small scrapbooking journal on what the Lord was doing for us. And those might have been simple, sweet little miracles in my eyes, like the basement flooding and my beloved, blessed neighbor who was just an utter blessing to my life came over and, took care of my sump pump and got the water out of my basement and, just kept an eye on things for me. To me, that was a miracle. That was a blessing. That was God's hand. God provided me with a neighbor who could help me in those times. Simple times with going. I had gotten, just before the divorce started, a new car. And I went to the dealer to get my oil changed, my first oil change. And I, set up an appointment. They did the oil change. I went up to the desk to pay and they said, oh, this oil change is on us. Well, I looked at that as a blessing, a little gift from God. It wasn't some big financial miracle that I did need at moments, but it was blessings that the Lord provided for me. People that when the courts were not quickly enough resolving, financial issues, because I was a stay-at-home mom at that point. I had no means of income. I was homeschooling my children. And my ex was not providing support. And the courts were taking forever to, do those orders. It was just one issue after another. And, I had a little nest egg that I had taken, from an investment to just get started on, some support, but that went very quickly. And now I had no income, and people would just bless me with, $700 of gift cards at the grocery store. So I had ways to feed my children. It was just blessings upon blessings like that. The beautiful people in my life came to support my children and I. So I created a little scrapbook of all of those blessings because I wanted to remember them, and I wanted my children. So that is, another way to journal. Whether, you create a scrapbook or you just write. But what is the beauty of journaling? Well, we begin to look for those things that we're grateful in our daily life. Good things do happen. And you might say to me right now, "Oh yeah? Really? Tell me. Tell me one." Because life might be really hard for you right now. But I can tell you one. That one good thing today is that you woke up this morning and you are here right now listening to my message. That is a good thing. There is always good, in every single day. We can get mental clarity by journaling. It gives us the ability to see the big picture. And then we can record our successes to later go and be reminded of them. Or another, beauty of journaling is it can help you connect to your values, your emotions, and your goals. And you can also learn from your mistakes as well as your successes. Just because you make a mistake doesn't make you a failure. It just means you just learned something you didn't know. And now you know how to do it differently. And there are many types of journals that you can create. You could create a dream journal. Like literally, you could record your dreams, which actually I did for a few years because there was a few years that I was having impactful, very bizarre dreams. And I wasn't very discerning on understanding what the dreams meant. I feel like I am now, more so. So now when I get a dream, when I wake up in the morning and I get a dream, and I can tell whether the dream was impactful and the Lord speaking to me, or just maybe too much pizza the night before or something. I can tell the difference between that dream. And I will immediately grab my computer, while I'm waiting for the coffee, and I will start typing because I can type quicker than I can write. And I will just keep writing and writing and writing everything I remember about the dream. And then I'll go back and I'll pray and ask the Lord for, his discernment on what the dream was about. What was he trying to communicate to me? Was it a warning? Was it something to come? So I do write down my dreams. But you can another type of journal could be a gratitude journal. You could journal about everything that you're grateful for. Every day you could wake up and say, "Okay, God, help me find something to be grateful for." And whether it's the fact that the sun came up, whatever, there's always something to be grateful for. You could create a chronological journal, which is basically what I do in my writings. They're chronological. You could create a miracles journal. You could create a provision journal. You can create a dream journal, meaning these are your dreams, what you aspire to have, what you hope to have. Actually, my daughter and I were supposed to start that years ago. But I was in the midst of the divorce and I had gotten overwhelmed, and so I ended up not. She started it. But she had a few things like going to New York City. And she actually lived in New York City for a few years when she was in college. So, she should go back and look at the journal to see what which one of those dreams, if all of them, haven't been answered already. But you can, name your type of journal. And, you could be saying, "Well, I don't feel like I'm a writer." Well, that's okay. It's not about grammar and punctuation. It's about releasing the anxiety and stress in your body and just getting it down on paper. Sometimes when I go back over my journal, I'm like, "What was I saying here?" Like I sometimes have to really read it because my grammar was poor, and I was quickly writing it, and the penmanship wasn't clear. It didn't matter. I just write though. The goal is to get it out of your head and your heart and onto paper. And so give this a try. Give it a try for 30 or 60 days and see if you find it helpful. Just, you don't want to go buy a journal, just get a pad of paper and just begin writing. Or put it on your computer. Start a document on your computer and just type if you'd rather just type. And just journal. Do I journal every single day? No, probably not. It just depends on what's going on. I probably, more times than not, I'm journaling daily, but there's, a day here or there that I don't. I know, I want to say, I think it was last year for 2022. I think I had 5 or 6 of those small journals, the 5x9s or whatever size they are. I'll tell you what size they are. I have one right here on my desk. And if I was doing a video, I could lift up the journal and show it to you. So this journal is literally, 6 by 8.5. So around that size. And that's what I use daily to write in. At times I have gotten the bigger journals. Whatever I could find at the store that's cheap. So anyway, I would love to know what you think. If this is something that you feel like you might want to venture down, I'd love to know, if you give it a try and how it works out for you. Remember, I'm here for you. And I'd love to chat with you to help you get the stresses out of your life. And if you want to do that by journaling and not sure how to get started, literally, then schedule a 30-minute, free consult. The link to do that is below in the description. And we can just schedule a quick call and chat for a moment. And then remember that I still have that special offer for a free health history. Good until February 28th. Email me at info@reginasanchez.com. In the subject, put health history, and I'll send you one. And I'd be honored to guide you to your desired goal of removing anxiety and stress from your life and moving into a place of peace, love, joy, and health. And please like and share my podcasts if they bless you or if you know someone that could benefit from these messages. I appreciate you. And I am here for you. Be blessed, be encouraged, and know that you're loved. Thanks for listening. God bless. Well, thank you, my friends, for taking the time to listen to my podcast. I hope you found it uplifting and encouraging, and that it guides you to having peace, joy, love, and health in your life. If you would like more information on the services I offer, go to my website, reginasanchez.com. Or if you're ready to dive into my teachings, head on over to givingyouafreshstart.com. This is where I will teach you how to start fresh on different aspects of your life. You can also find my book, Can I Have Your Heart, Daddy, on Amazon. Be blessed, be encouraged, and know that you are loved.